Every single plane, boat, car, everything is in this video. The full catalog is here, and I'm going to show you absolutely everything this game has to offer. Now, I'm going to be speaking throughout this video talking about vehicles I'm super excited about. The Abarth 500 or the Fiat 500 monster truck. I am so happy that it returns. It's one of the absolute best vehicles in this game. It just rolls over super easy. And having played the original game so much, there's a lot of cars in here that weren't in the previous game, obviously, because there's not even just the addition of the boats and the planes. They've definitely found ways to add in cars that I really want to use. The Vanquish is a beautiful car that I definitely want to use. The Vulcan is something I'm really excited to use in this game. There's a new Audi R8 and the TTRS. Audi used to be a bit iffy with being in a lot of games, but this time round, they're definitely jumping in the crew. One thing that the developers were telling me is that this time round, because of the fact that the Crew 1 was such a big success and they had the numbers to show that yes, this game is a big thing, they were able to go to these companies and be like, look, this is our numbers, please be in our game. And they were like, yeah, we want to be in your game. So they have a whole insane list in here. I mean, they even have the X6M returning. I'm very glad that they did that, because this game, better than any other, does it mix and match different types of vehicle. Now, Forza generally has a lot of different varied types of vehicles, but when it comes to actually upgrading those vehicles and taking them off-road and actually doing stuff with them, this game smashes it out of the park. It's all well and good having crazy amounts of off-road vehicles, but if you hardly have any decent off-road to take it on, what's the point? The Crew offers absolutely that. Easily better than anyone else. Now, the Camaro 69 was definitely one of my absolute favorite vehicles in every single class, and this video shows you it in every single class. That's what I like about this list here. The catalog shows you every possible combination for these vehicles, and the Camaro is definitely going to be the one that I used it on raid, I used it on off-road, I used it on absolutely everything that I could think of. It was my baby. I completely forgot about that when I was talking about the cars that I want in the garage, because that's definitely going to be in my garage, no doubt about that. The new Camaro, obviously got to have that in there. Another old, so like, one thing that lacks with Need for Speed is the lack of varied car. Like they have, for example, in the last game, it was lack of classic muscles. Now there's quite a lot of classic muscles in the new Need for Speed game. The current game actually has quite a lack of off-roading vehicles, kind of 4x4s, when it's got the main focus of the game was off-roading. This game already had the bases covered in the first game, and they've just improved it. And the hypercars especially have received an amazing treatment, which you'll see throughout this video. But again, a lot of the vehicles are available in different types of classes and stuff, just like they were in the previous game. The Chrysler 300 is the one on its own again. Only the one Citroen. And honestly, I'm going to say that I don't particularly like the Citroens that much, so I'm not particularly missing out. The Challenger looks absolutely huge in this game. It looks absolutely massive. There's a drift version of it and a drag version of it. Drag makes so much sense. Definitely going to be driving that at some point. I'm going to be like, there's hardly any games that I want to collect all the cars in, but this is just this is appetizing for me to collect it. There's a lot of games that would be like, you know, try and do your best to collect as many cars as you possibly can. Collect all the cars and you get some kind of reward, but I've never wanted to do that in any other game other than, like, the catalog just makes me, and I can go through them like this, it's just making me want to go, you know, I should probably actually get all those cars, shouldn't I? I don't think there's one car, other than the Citroen maybe, that I don't particularly want that much. I want to try absolutely every single car, and you already know I'm going to do that. We're going to do builds on them, we're going to upgrade them, we're going to race them, we're going to challenge them, we're going to do online lobbies with them. We haven't even touched them, like, I don't even know if there's any form of competitive online. I'm hoping there is, but we haven't even touched upon that, if it is a thing. Like, I feel like, as I'm telling you all this information, I've got a lot of information that I don't think a lot of people would have found. Well, I feel like there's a lot of information I wouldn't have found as well. It's like, I've never felt like that about a game before. With Need for Speed, I get a lot of access. With the Crew, I've had a lot of access. But every single time, Fergus has to point out to me, there's a new thing here, and I'm like, it just takes my whole world to another level in this game. A whole bunch of Ferraris. In the last game, there really weren't that many Ferraris. I think there was a 458 and I don't even, the 458 and one other. I think that was pretty much it. The Ford Raptor has to return in monster truck form. Is there any question about it? If any vehicle, the Circuit Raptor. Oh, the memories of these cars. It's just beautiful. I feel like I've played the Crew such a long time ago because it's been such a long while since release. But I like that because the thing is with games that come out so often, like this has had a much humongous jump compared to the last game, compared to say Forza to the next Forza. The Focus RS as like a rally cross car is exactly what you want, right? Ford GT with a nice little wing on there for the drift. Interesting idea, I know. We've got the old Ford GT and the new Ford GT in the same game. Thank you so much. We've got the old Mustang, very nice, and I actually prefer this mod. I think this is my favorite model of the Mustang. I actually like this. Is the new Mustang in the game? I can't. Yeah, it is in the game. It's right down there. Beautiful. I like that they're having the new and old because a lot of games recently, again, I'm comparing it to other games, but a lot of games recently, they put the new one in and they remove the old one. But some people prefer the old one. Like the GTR, for example, is going to be the next thing that people are like, oh, I kind of miss the old one. It's not as big an issue as, say, for the Mustang, because the Mustang completely changes. But having different levels of Mustang, it's what you want. I haven't spoke about any of the planes or cars or, the planes, bikes, or boats yet. And that's honestly because I have absolutely no idea about these. I know that these look absolutely crazy, like stunt rockets. We got that Honda, which that's a weird middleman for me. I prefer the old Hondas and the new Hondas. That Honda I didn't particularly like. The Hummer is still here. Thank you. The Hummer had an insane, massive wing on the last game, and if it's removed, I'm gonna be frustrated. But I like the Hummer is. It almost feels like a car company that feels like it's going to phase out at some point from games. It's going to be really disappointing. But when it comes to off-roading, the Hummer's one of the first cars I go for. If I was to own one of those big American SUVs, the Hummer's the first one that pops into my head and says, I want the Hummer. I don't know, a lot of people would say, oh, the Jeep. Yeah, the Jeep is easily the one that, people would jump in and be like, Jeep. But I prefer the Hummer. That's just me. Now, there's a whole bunch of bikes in this. I know a lot of you actually have interest in bikes as well. Unfortunately, again, I have no interest. I know that some of the brands, I should probably look into bikes. I have at some point considered possibly getting my bike kind of lessons, that sort of thing, to probably just dive in and learn it from actually, riding a bike. But they also kind of scare me. I'm much more a fan of, I'm very basic when it comes to bikes. I like the very sporty looking bikes, and I like the off-road bikes, the dirt bikes, that kind of thing. These bikes right here by KTM. KTM I just know because they make those type of bikes. Lamborghini, a whole bunch of options. We got a stock Big Wang Super Trofeo. Oh, amazing. And we got the standard Gallardo if you want it as well. They should have had the Gallardo just upgrade to the Super Trofeo. Then again, people wouldn't realize that that's in the game, and they would like, what's a Super Trofeo? And there it is. Oh, my mistake. We got the Murcilago in many different specs. I'm super glad that it's in the race kind of circuity spec again. Lamborghini is my go-to over. I've already made that in the past, but almost went off that. You thought I wasn't going to show it. Of course I was going to show it. I'm going to show absolutely everything. Hammer it all out. We got Lancia, which, because it's look at that. Imagine off-roading with the Lancia. There's so many cars in here that they fit the purpose of the game so well. There's so many times you will be going on this game and you'll be flying off-road at 100 and something miles an hour, down a hill at 200 miles an hour, off-road, dodging trees, and the Lancia is one of the first cars that you go, that's just perfect for it. And if it doesn't fit your agenda, we'll take a monster truck, make a Fiat 500 monster truck if you want to. Just go for it. RX-7 is in race and drift, as far as I just saw there. We've got the McLaren 12C, the 12C GT3. We've got the F1 and the P1. The best selection of McLarens ever. If you have those in your game, you're sorted. No others needed whatsoever. We got some. This is where I was a little bit worried about something with the Mercedes. They've got the C63 touring car, which is super cool. They got the AMG GT, and then the AMG GT3. I got a little bit worried that the SLS had gone, because the SLS is still the best looking. I don't care what anyone said. Oh, that's cool. The best looking Mercedes that Mercedes ever made. The SLS Black is my absolute favorite variation, but the AMG SLS is here along with the GT3 SLS. Yes! Thank you for keeping those in. I was worried. I was genuinely worried and I didn't see it popping up. But it seems like they've got all my favorite cars. The 69 Camaro, the SLS, the Murcilago, the Skyline. They've added the new GTR, obviously. It's just kind of got everything ticked, really, hasn't it? So now we're on to Nissan 370Z. I prefer 370Z to the 350Z, though I know some people prefer the 350Z. So it would be nice at some point, I think, for them to add a 350. I know it would be kind of a minimalistic thing, and I don't think it's going to be like, I don't think it should be like a expansion thing. Maybe I think in the future, in like next games, I'm talking, a 350 would be nice. But they've got a lot of 370Zs. We've got Fair Ladies, and we've got the GTRs coming up. Now, I know, again, a lot of people are going to say they want to see this GTR, this GTR. I like the 2015 GTR there. I think it's 2015. And the R34 is my absolute favorite GTR. I would love to see, like, it's GTR, before I move on to that, every spec possible. It's in monster truck, and circuit is beautiful. And yeah, I would love to see the R33, which is my favorite, and I know a lot of people like the R32. I would say I want the 3 because the 3 is not in many games, but some people absolutely adore that car. Pagani throws me back to the TDU2 days, and I think in general that's what this is. They're getting to the point where now they covered so much more than TDU2 did in terms of gameplay. They've destroyed it in gameplay, and now they're starting to go, you know what, let's add in the stuff that TDU2 did really well and make it better. And I think that's what they're starting to do here. We've got a proto helicopter. We've got the Alpha Mark II, which is their like own kind of custom F1 style vehicle. We've got the buggy, and we've got the Hop One coming up. Here it is. 3, 2, 1. The Hop One has returned. Oh yes. If they ever remove the Hop One from the game, I would be very frustrated, very upset, very annoyed. And I like here that there's a whole bunch of vehicles that obviously you wouldn't expect to see, like the XT3, which is a hovercraft. We'll get into that. Red Bull, hello. I know that Arava was going off on Twitter, and all the F1 YouTubers are probably like going crazy about the fact that the F1, just to let you know, is drivable on the streets. It was shown on a trailer. Oh yes, it's insane. I can't believe it. The Celine S7 and the S7R, cars I wish I could find for sale in the UK. Even though I can't afford them, I just like to look and stare at them. The Celine S7 is one of my absolute dream goal cars, and I would love to own one. I want to import one. How much do they cost? They probably cost a heck of a lot. We got the Spitfire, which is for plane lovers. Spitfires, I don't think you can go wrong with a Spitfire. We've got the TVR Saga, but we have iridescent colours that will fit absolutely perfectly with that. We've got Volkswagen in here, which I don't think, is Volkswagen in many other games? I think they pulled out of some games, didn't they? So, Volkswagen, and we got some cool kind of, I don't know how to describe them, so, like planes that you would, crop duster planes. And finally some stunt planes. So that is the list of vehicles in the Crew 2. Absolutely everything that is available right now. As of now, I'm super excited to be playing with absolutely every single one of those. Let me know in the comments your favorite. Say, go through the video, pick a maybe top 3, top 2 or 3. Let me know which ones you're most excited to drive. For me personally, I'm going to say the R34, obviously. I'm really generic in every single class. The SLS, but out of the blue, out of the ordinary, I think I'm actually really excited to drive the F1 car. I think that would be super fun to drive. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash like, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace.